So no days off day bring you week one NFL slate breakdown, cash show, whatever you want to call it. All I know is that the NFL is back, and I'm glad and happy to be able to break this down for you guys. If you guys are new here and you guys enjoying the content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the uploads that we're putting out here on the channel, and hit the like button if it's helping you in any way, shape, or form. If you guys are looking for player pools, prop plays, or anything for all sites, DraftKings, FanDuel, Sports Battle, Prize Picks, Underdog, all those sites, make sure you guys check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you, you will make that back within your first week. We got a lot of content rolling out over here on the channel and over on our Patreon group. You guys don't want to miss it. Diving straight into week one. Trying to figure out how exactly I wanted to break this down. So pretty much just going to go position by position, just talking a couple of players that I'm going to be high on, looking at, and things like that. Different ways that you can go, GPP, cash games, strategy builds, things of that nature. If you guys don't have a DraftKings account and you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. It's been good to us for the WNBA season. Hoping it could be good for us again over here for the NFL season. I had one of my biggest wins week one of the NFL 2 years ago, won 16,000 week one of the NFL season. Back in the 2021 season. So hopefully we can repeat, do something like that again here. Really excited to get this started with the NFL season. Just pretty much a money printing machine if you know what you're doing and building right. So just to do some housekeeping real quick, on DraftKings, you have the quarterback, running back, 3 wide receiver position, tight end, flex, and the defensive position. So unlike college football, we don't have a super flex where we can play 2 quarterbacks on the slate. I want to say that's a different contest selection that you can actually do where you get those options, things like that. So we will only be focusing, of course, sadly, we're going to have to play a defense on this one right here. The super flex position, I know some people have different opinions whenever it comes down to playing players in the super flex. I personally, in cash games, am a big believer in playing running backs because of the upside and the safety that running backs have. In cash games, we're all about being safe with a safe floor and an upside is what we're looking for in those players like that. So running backs, players that tend to get into the end zone, they don't really have to do too much PPR upside, especially in this day and age that we have with a lot of the running backs being able to catch passes out of the backfield. Nowadays, I really do feel like that's a really good option right here in your flex position. Now, GPP wise, I would definitely say if you're looking to run a full game stack or something like that, if you're running a quarterback with 2 of his wide receivers and you want to do a run back and you don't want to just fill it in with some no-name receiver, and or you fill it in with a receiver, but you want to play another receiver that's in a different game. That's where I think you can get different and put that into your flex position and just have that at your disposal. So that's just different ways that you can definitely look at doing that right there. All right, so starting at the quarterback position, we already know kind of what some of these guys can do, but if you're building out for cash games, I'll say Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, both of these guys, dual threat quarterbacks. They can run the ball. We already know that they're going to lead their team in whatever it is that they're doing. Lamar Jackson, really do have I like him here on the slate, even though he's sitting at 8K, most expensive quarterback on the slate. I know that he's going to be it's going to be a little bit indifferent because I really do feel in cash games, everyone's going to pay down to some of the other quarterbacks we'll talk about in a second. And one way I still feel like the safety that you can get with Lamar Jackson, if you can build out your lineup pretty decently, find some value at the running back position and find that 1 or 2 wide receiver value play that'll help you out. And depending on what you're actually trying to do. But Lamar Jackson, safe floor. I personally believe that 110%. And I do not mind if you can get up to pay up for him. Might make you different in GPPs as well, just going ahead and paying up for him because, again, even in GPPs, a lot of people, they're going to be sitting and they're going to be paying down for the Richardson on the slate, or maybe Deshaun Watson or something like that that's down here in this range. But Lamar Jackson, definitely don't mind that. Sitting there at the 8K price range, he definitely should be in prime position to be able to go out here and destroy a Houston team who legit isn't really going to be playing for too much. And honestly, there's no way the Houston Texans could beat the Ravens here in this spot. Hurts, going up against my Patriots. I don't mind that at all. Justin Fields, hopefully they'll let him cook like what he was doing to the end of last season. Hopefully that will continue here. Once again, going up against Green Bay, that should be decent matchup for him right there. Joe Burrow, Herbert, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, all these plays right here in this range right here. I really do like the Herbert and Tua. They're in the highest total game on the slate. Don't mind that for a GPP type stack if you're looking for something like that. Burrow, he has a plethora of weapons going up against the Browns. Should be a decent game right here. Nonetheless, 7-1. Honestly, you might as well just come down, maybe play a Herbert to it in their higher total game. But definitely Burrow, probably one of the lower owned quarterbacks on the slate. Coming down here, value, Geno Smith, don't mind him. Definitely should let Geno cook like they were trying to do last season. We know how involved he was, the rushing upside, passing upside that he has with his wide receivers in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. So definitely another game stack possibility right there going up against the Rams. And then Deshaun Watson really kind of turned it on towards the end of the last season. Definitely don't mind going to him. Probably more of a GPP play. I think he'll be much lower owned. Like I said, turned it on the last 2 games of the season, 21 and 19 fantasy points. Yes, that was last season, but should be able to build on that considering considering that the man didn't play football for what, 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, before he actually came back to play. Russell Wilson, not really too heavy on Russell Wilson. Going to be missing possible some of his wide receivers. I want to say his wide receivers are banged up, so not really going to be looking there. Stafford, not even touching that. Missing your main wide receiver weapon, and Cup's going to be out tomorrow, so not even going to mess with there. Coming down to the real value that we're going to be going to on the slate. Richardson, really feel like he's going to be the cash chalk going into the slate. There's no Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, so definitely Richardson. He does have that upside to be able to rush quite a bit. Going up against Jacksonville, they have a decent defense, not world beater defense, nonetheless, but definitely the upside will be there for him coming into this. He's going to be leading this offense, leading this team. I really feel like he is going to be the cash chalk of the slate. Now, the way that you can get different, because we do have another quarterback that is mad cheap, mad cheap. Where are you at, buddy? That I definitely feel like we can swap off and come to. And that's going to be Sam Howell going up against the Arizona Cardinals, who honestly have nothing to play for. Well, they do have something to play for, but it's the start of the season. But going up against the Cardinals, who honestly I don't know what the heck their team is doing right now, should be a decent matchup for him. And we do know he has some upside as well. He's going to be leading the Washington Commanders out here. I don't mind him as a pivot, and honestly, that's just mega value, mega value. Being able to drop down to him at that 4.9 price range, and it'll let you pay up in a lot of spots in your lineup. So if you want to get different, I think this is going to be like a GPP type thing. If you were to go with Howell over playing Richardson, that'll make you a little bit different right there inside your lines. Going over to the running back position, we already kind of know where it starts out. CMC, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, Robinson. All these plays right here, great plays. If you already know, CMC and Austin Eckler, really great PPR producers in their own right there. I don't mind that, especially Austin Eckler inside that high total with the Miami and the Chargers game. Definitely don't mind that right there. Joe Mixon, someone I would play inside of the mid-tier range. Definitely one running back that I do feel like we can key into for the slate, and that is going to be my boy Jamal Williams. There's no Alvin Kamara, and I want to say the Saints running back pool, they are pretty banged up, so he should have plenty of touches out there for him on the slate. Really do like that for him in this position. Definitely will be one of the players that I would go to, especially he has a pretty decent cheap price sitting here in the 5K range, so you definitely would probably want to be looking to that to build out your lineups. Yeah, 5-1, that's mad cheap, and I would honestly expect for him to be more than likely one of the cash chalks on the slate as well. And then with the fact that Jonathan Taylor, he is going to be out for the Jonathan Taylor. Who is Jonathan Taylor's backup? I want to say that should have been Jackson. So Jackson, definitely another player sitting at 401. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not cash chalk as well. Going along with his quarterback, just for the fact he's 401. There's no Jonathan Taylor. We know that he saw some touches quite a bit last season out there. Now I know they did draft another not another quarterback, draft another running back in a Hull. So that might be one way that you can get different, swapping to Hull instead of playing Jackson right there. That might can make you a little bit different right there if you want to try to do something like that. But outside of that, of course, paying up for some of these running backs in the prime positions, it's just going to be taking a stab. But there's some safety in CMC, Austin Eckler, Chubb, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Dobbs, and one more running back who I got to get used to saying these positions again, man. One more running back that really won me some money last season, who's also in the highest total game of the slate, Raheem Mostert. He was in that 16K winning lineup that I had, low owned. Definitely a player I feel you can go to here in this position. Like I said, highest total, he could definitely rush them in. I know he can have a little bit of a role out of the backfield, catches passes, things like that. So actually don't mind going there. Wide receiver position, if we pay down for some of those running backs that we just talked about, unless you get the Justin Jeffersons, the Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, all these players right here within this position, maybe run a Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill type stack, run the back with a Mostert. Depend if you want to go like a Trevor Lawrence, not Trevor Lawrence. Depending on if you want to go with a Tua or something like that inside of that Miami game, or Herbert right there. That's a pretty easy stack that you could probably get to. I definitely don't hate that. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, I already talked about that. Going with Geno Smith. We already know that Seattle, they really did win quite a bit of people money last season, stacking them because of how high power that offense can be. And going up against the Rams, I definitely don't hate that. Rams, not too much to be scared of. I know they have a pretty decent defense, but nonetheless can definitely get beat through the air. Denver, they got some injury news to pay attention to. If Judy's going to be out, that might open up some value out here at the wide receiver position if Judy is going to miss this game. So definitely want to pay attention to that. Calvin Ridley coming in with Trevor Lawrence. I do like him out here. I've been very high on him in some of my drafts and things like that. feel like this is definitely going to be a bounce back season for him, and he's just another weapon. Trevor Lawrence, he's gotten better and better in his seasons that he's been inside the league. So I definitely feel like he's not even feel like he is the wide receiver one and expects us to. Some players that we can possibly go to, and this is more likely going to be the value play of the slate right here. That's going to be Tutu Atwell sitting at the bare minimum at 3K with no cup. He should move in. Definitely should garnish some not only ownership, but quite a bit of targets, and definitely has the upside, especially at 3K. We only need maybe 10 fantasy points from him, and definitely has the ability to get more than that on a slate. So Tutu would not be surprised if he is the chalk wide receiver on the slate. So that's one of those right there, and that lets you pay up for some of these other high price wide receivers that you're looking at playing into your lines on the day. Going over to the tight end position. Now, the tight end position was normally a position that I am going to be very honest. I used to always punt the tight end position, but I actually kind of want to take a different approach this season, and I want to pay up for my tight ends. I actually want to get the security in some of these higher end tight ends up here. And of course, Mark Andrews, he's currently questionable. If Mark Andrews was to miss, I want to say that opens up a position for Lively. I want to say that's his backup, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Likely, not Lively. Opens up some value and maybe Likely. But TJ Hawkinson, Godert, Higbee, Evan Ingram, Kittle, if he's good to go, things like that. I want to actually pay up for my tight end position versus trying to pay down, finding me that value tight end and hoping that he actually does something. I'm going to be going very different this season, and that is honestly, truly just paying for my tight ends finally, like that. But definitely all the top end tight ends, you guys already know most of their names and what they're going to do. But yeah, definitely paying attention to the Mark Andrews. If Mark Andrews is out and we do get Likely as possible tight end, we do know how Lamar Jackson does like his tight ends as well. Throws them a ton, especially red zone as well. Definitely we'll be looking at him. That will be a value play that I don't mind going to and would actually play. But TJ Hawkinson's, David Njoku, players that I would like to actually play mine, Tyler Higbee, these plays right here. Those will be some of the ones that I'll be keying into as my tight end play. Now, defense, I think that honestly, no brainer. That's going to actually be Washington's defense. Where are you, Washington? Washington going up against the okay, here we go. Washington Commanders at 2-8. Washington Commanders going up against Arizona. Honestly, like I said, probably going to be a team that a lot of people are going to be targeting this season, especially defensive wise, just because we're not expecting for them to be able to go out here and do too much, move the ball, or do anything at all. Washington, they actually have a very solid defense in their own right. So Washington Commanders 2-8. That's honestly just going to be my more than likely lock-in defense, and I'm just going to run for the day. A way that you can get different at the defensive position is honestly to pay up for your defense, because a lot of people, they will not pay up for defense. They're always going to pay down because they find the value in paying down at the defensive position. So, but honestly, one defense I'm going to cover, and that is going to be Washington. But hopefully, I gave you guys some nuggets or something that you could use for your breakdowns as well. Prop plays, things like that, that will be coming out. Check out my boy Comeback Season, Josh's channel, for any prop plays. I know he's already dropped some stuff like that for you guys. And check the Patreon. I will have my core, my player pool, and all that stuff out for Sunday slate. Good luck to you guys. And check back for that WNBA video, because we will have that out as well. Big slate. All 6 games going on, all 12 teams. Cannot wait to break that down as well. Good luck to you guys. Hopefully we cash on this NFL Sunday. Peace.